Hi, I'm Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and you're watching Comic Book Now, so stay tuned.
What's up, Comic Book Nation? Welcome to Comic Book Now. Happy Thursday. Charlie Ridgely's here. That's why you're here, I know. I'm Brandon Davis, calling BD. First of all, how cool was that? Kevin Conroy just introduced our show. Awesome. If you're following our page, which, by the way, welcome to our official Comic Book Now Facebook page. Go ahead and click the like button so you never miss an episode. You would have seen that I sat down with Kevin Conroy in this very studio, also on the Comic Book Now Facebook page. Charlie Ridgely and Jason Mewes of Jay and Silent Bob. We had Chris Killian sit down with Sam Jones, Flash Gordon himself. There's a lot of stuff. Hit the like button on our Comic Book Now page for many reasons. We have a good show today. Before we get into it, I want to announce one of the perks of hitting that like button. We have a giveaway for someone who liked our page there. Dustin Krieger, congratulations, buddy. Last week, we announced we're giving away this Batman the Animated Series set of 5 collectible figures. It is signed. Let me tell you something. This is signed by Kevin Conroy. It is. You don't have Kevin Conroy in the studio and not have him sign your Batman Animated Series giveaway. 25 years of Batman. This is $175. It's Dustin Krieger's. Dustin, we will connect with you. We will mail it to you. Thanks for watching and following the page.
Probably a lot more than that now with that signature on it.
I would have to agree with you. But we have a good show. We're going to touch them all. We're going Star Wars, Justice League, Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, and we're going to start with Hellboy. The first image of David Harbour as Hellboy was released this week, and man, this looks amazing. The film is coming together very, very nicely now. Everyone's getting excited. Daniel Day Kim of Lost, who, by the way, just left Hawaii 5-0 and said when he left that he thought it might be a little hard for an Asian American actor to find work, is stepping in where Ed Skrein stepped out as Major Ben Daimio, an Asian American character who many are now satisfied to have Daniel Day Kim playing. But with how awesome Hellboy looks, actually, can we pull that image back up again one more time? This is just such a great tease of this new movie that I was worried people might not really care. We've already had 2. They didn't do gangbusters at the box office, but after this image, I've seen nothing but positive responses. Hellboy is shredded.
He looks awesome.
He looks fantastic.
And I think that was my biggest worry. Not that he wouldn't look cool, but like the Perlman movies weren't that long ago.
Yeah.
You know, less than 10 years since we've had a Perlman movie, maybe right about 10 years. And so it had to really change and really wow people. And I think this image was everything they needed to be like, all right, I'm back in on Hellboy. Dude, it's going to be cool.
Hellboy has been dieting. He's been working out. I think it looks great. I'm excited. Yeah. But there's been a lot of good movie news. People are excited for Hellboy. There's been a lot of good movie news. Star Wars has a director. We'll get to that. But I thought an interesting way to start today's show would be for each of us to rank our top 5 movies of 2017 so far, and we still have a few left, so we'll talk about that too. But I wanted to start, Charlie, lead us off here. I want to know your top 5 movies that you've seen so far.
It was really hard when you asked me this earlier today. It was really hard to come up with this. There's so many great movies. Honorable mention real quick, John Wick Chapter 2. I loved it. But anyway, my top 5. Number 5 was Girls Trip. I finally got around to seeing it. It was so funny. Tiffany Haddish is so great. I know B doesn't understand, but I love that movie. It was one of my favorites of the last couple years, I think, as far as comedies go. 4, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Everyone loved that movie. I think it's really, it's one of the better Marvel movies of the last few years, in my opinion. 3 was Logan, and I've said this on this show before. I think Logan was maybe one of the best superhero movies of all time. Hugh Jackman had an awesome goodbye. It was so much heart and so much grit. I loved it. Number 2, It. It was so scary and so funny, which I didn't expect. I loved it. All those actors were great. I can't wait for Chapter 2. And number 1, my top film of the year, it probably comes as no surprise, Baby Driver. Dude, Edgar Wright's one of my favorite directors in the world. Baby Driver hit all the notes for me. I loved it. I saw it 2 or 3 times in theaters. Couldn't get better.
I just want to backpedal here for a second. Charlie's number 5 movie of the year. This is the same movie where Wonder Woman, John Wick Chapter 2, the Lego Batman movie, War for the Planet of the Apes, Dunkirk all came out. Charlie's number 5 movie is Girls Trip.
It is, and I stand by that. If you haven't seen Girls Trip, go see it. It's hilarious.
I'm going to go through my top 5. There's a couple things I want to point out. I haven't seen Dunkirk, and I haven't seen Get Out. Neither of which did Charlie rank higher than Girls Trip. So my honorable mentions include John Wick Chapter 2 and Wonder Woman, and Logan, not in my top 5, all very good films. Number 5 for me, the Lego Batman movie. I thought Lego Batman movie was a ton of fun. It took all the fun from the Lego movie, injected it with DC Comics stuff, and it was a blast. The voice work was great. Number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 tried a little too hard to be funnier than the first, but it packed way more of an emotional punch. Yondu, I'm talking about you. And I thought that made it a great film. Number 3 for me is It. I just saw this. I want to see it again. I think I don't usually enjoy horror movies. It was scary, like Charlie said, but it was also a whole lot of fun. Number 2, War for the Planet of the Apes, Matt Reeves. You can't go wrong. Andy Serkis, they made a brilliant film, heartfelt, driven, character-driven. Love that movie. And number 1, for me, the most fun I've had at the movies this year has been watching Spider-Man Homecoming. I just love that film. It's The Breakfast Club with a superhero in it, which makes me kind of wonder, Charlie, is 2017 the best year of films ever? Are there more? Is the quality of films right now better than ever before?
That's hard. I mean, because you've had some awesome movies. Like we've mentioned probably 20, at least just in passing while we're sitting here. But there have also been some really, really bad movies. And there haven't been anything like middle of the road. It seems like everything's either been horrible or really awesome. I mean, I guess
0 to 100
like,
real quick.
Despicable Me 3 was kind of in the middle. Fate of the Furious was pretty good. You know, but not bad, not one of these movies.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's been one or the other. There's been
some bad,
really
Pirates of the Caribbean, kind of middle of the road, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd put that there. I enjoy Pirates.
But let's look ahead though, because we're not done yet. This year really could be. We have over 3 months left in the year, 3.5 months left in the year. We have some really big movies coming up.
Yeah.
Some that I'm really excited about. I know you're really excited about. Comic Book Nation, I want to know what you're really excited about. So let us know in the comment section what movie you're looking forward to more than anything else. We'll read some of those comments in just a second. But we have a lot left. So Charlie, what 3 movies, starting at 3, are your most anticipated?
All right, my most anticipated coming the rest of the year. Number 3 is in just a couple weeks, and it's Kingsman: The Golden Circle. I love Kingsman so much. Reese, I know you're in the comments disagreeing with me right now, but you're wrong, and I want everyone else to get on Reese and tell him he's wrong because the Kingsman movies are awesome. I love them. Number 2 is Coco, and I'm a huge Pixar nerd. I've loved Pixar since I was a kid, and I went to the Pixar set over in San Francisco, and it was so great. It's going to be one of Pixar's best movies, maybe ever, and I know that that's a big, bold statement, but trust me, it's going to be great. And number 1, I think a lot of you probably agree here, is Thor Ragnarok. Everything about the movie, everything I've seen, everything you've told me from set, Brandon, all the trailers, all the photos. Taika Waititi is an awesome director. Like, everything about this movie just makes it look awesome.
2 things about your list. One, Kingsman: The Golden Circle, I'm really excited about. I'm going to see it this weekend. I'm flying to London tomorrow. I'll be interviewing the cast, so if you have questions, let me know. 2, Coco. Michael Giacchino's doing the music. He did Lost. You can't go wrong. What is it? Really quickly, give me a really quick version of what it's like. What is it like to be on the Pixar set?
It's not nearly like the same experience as being on a regular movie set, but you go through Pixar's different studios, and they have like different wings of their like creative buildings dedicated to certain movies. Like that main building, you go up to like one wing was still all Cars 3 because they hadn't transitioned to Incredibles yet, and the other one was all Coco, so there was just all this concept art on the walls and different stuff like that. And there's one building was like a whole like sculpture art building. We got to go in there. We actually got to like paint these 3D sculptures. It was really cool. Everything on Pixar's campus was really awesome. And
tough job, guys, but somebody's got to do it. That sounds really cool.
It's hard.
If you'll let me, I would love to share my top 3 most anticipated movies. My number 3. Star Wars Episode 8. I can't wait to see what's coming up with Star Wars. I love The Force Awakens, and you know it's Star Wars. Ryan Johnson this time, J.J. Abrams next time. Let's see. Justice League number 2, no question. Maybe out of curiosity to see how these characters are, what happens with the Zack Snyder, Joss Whedon transition. And number 1, I'm gonna have to agree with Charlie here. Thor Ragnarok. I'm really, really excited to see what Taika Waititi did. I think this movie is going to be a ton of fun after visiting the set there, just like Charlie was with Coco. I'm convinced this movie is going to be just fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about it. But, you know, we're talking about movies, but we are ComicBook.com. We're Comic Book Now, so we have to talk about comic books. That's why we're going to catch up with some of ComicBook.com's writers to hear their picks of the week.
Guys, my pick this week is Secret Empire Omega #1, which this is a continuation of what I feel like is one of the best Marvel storylines in recent memory. You know, nobody ever stays dead in the comics, and we knew that Captain America wasn't going to stay evil, but we finally got to see Captain America and Hydra Cap square off in the last issue, and the fascinating thing about this issue right here is that we finally get to see them discuss the irreparable damage, possibly, that Hydra Cap has done to Captain America. The entire public thinks that he's a supervillain, and how is he going to build that trust back up? I don't know. You guys are going to have to pick out the issue to find out.
My pick of the week is DC Metal #2, Scott Snyder's and Greg Capullo's latest in this kind of crazy event that has to do with metal in the DC universe. If you're going to pick this up, there's 3 things to remember. 1, you must like evil Batman, because there's a ton of those in there. Also, Justice League versus Batman is a huge thing, and it's an awesome sequence, and if you ever wanted to see Batman kind of go nuts a little bit, you've got your chance here. Plus, Batmanium, which is Batman's branded metal. All of that is why you should pick this for this week.
My pick for this week is Star Wars Dr. Aphra #12. Now, written by Kieran Gillen, Dr. Aphra is one of my favorite characters in all of the Star Wars comics and really all of Star Wars in general. And she's an archaeologist who used to work with Darth Vader and is now doing her own thing. She's an awesome ancient Jedi relic that is worth everything in the universe, and she's trying to sell it to the highest bidder, but Darth Vader has come back after her, and there's an epic Jedi showdown here at the end of this book that I don't want to spoil, but if you're a Star Wars fan, you don't want to miss it. So check out Dr. Aphra #12 this week.
That's our comic picks this week. You guys check out even more titles from Marvel, DC, or Image, and for the full list, head over to comicbook.com/comics.
Looks like we got some reading to do, Charlie. Got some comic books to read. Thanks for that, guys. And for more, go to comicbook.com/Marvel/DC. You can read all about this week's comics. And make sure, by the way, again, reminder, we're watching right now on our new Comic Book Now Facebook page. So go ahead and click like on the page. You'll be entered to win contests automatically whenever we pick one of our random followers for prizes. We try to do that on a weekly basis. We just gave one away at the top of the show. Really awesome Batman prize. But every week, I like to stir some stuff up. On the internet, Comic Book Nation, you guys know that. So this week, this segment I like to call The Great Debate. This week, my question is, for you, Comic Book Nation, which TV show is better, Lost or Game of Thrones? The response is, the response is surprisingly balanced to my delight.
Not what I
expected.
expected.
Because
before
I tweeted that, Charlie and I had this conversation. We were trying to find 2 shows you could compare. I suggested Lost, Game of Thrones. Charlie said, it's going to be all Game of Thrones. I was like, well, you know what? You're probably right. Everyone's going to say Game of Thrones. There were some Lost choices. And I'm on the Lost side of the spectrum. We'll get to that. Charlie, I know you're not on the Lost side. I know you're wrong, so...
Look, I don't care what people on Twitter said. Right now in the comments while I'm talking, I need your help because you know Game of Thrones is a better show. It's on HBO, they have more freedom, and they can make shorter seasons, which allows them to tell deeper stories and take their time. I mean, seasons are delayed because they get to take their time and craft a story the way they want to. There are epic battles. Think about Hardhome, Battle of the Bastards, the dragon burning down the wall. None of that could have happened in a show like Lost on ABC. And plus, the biggest factor, Lost completely lost its way. The last few seasons of that show just fell off the rails and nothing was cohesive about that story. They didn't know where they were going when they started, unlike Game of Thrones, who had a clear vision the entire time. And perhaps one of the most perfect casts ever in television.
You're telling me that Game of Thrones has one of the best endings. You're criticizing Lost on its ending. Game of Thrones is clearly already rushing its ending. There's never been controversy surrounding the show until the latest season where everybody's saying they're rushing. Every character is fast traveling all of a sudden. Every story is coming together really predictably and in ways
fast.
And Lost had the single best season of any TV series ever. And the ending of that show was perfect and it was true to the show.
You're saying a lot of things.
I'm saying a lot of things that make a lot of sense. The ratings for Game of Thrones have never reached where Lost was in its first 3 seasons.
Because Lost is on basic cable.
You don't even have Game of Thrones if you don't have Lost in the first place. Lost changed television. It made serialized TV a possibility in the first place. There wasn't a single crime being solved every week. There was an overarching story. There has never been a show that has developed characters like Lost did. I could tell you every single thing you want to know about Jack Shephard, James Sawyer Ford, Kate Austin. It's a better show. I love Game of Thrones. Lost is the best show of all time.
Listen. For one, Lost had higher ratings. It's on a network that you don't have to pay for. All right? So I'll give you higher ratings. I will give you higher ratings. Second, just because it started something and made the way for something else doesn't mean it's better. Which movie is better? Captain America Civil War or Iron Man in your opinion?
Captain America Civil War.
Okay, Iron Man paved the way. If it wasn't for Iron Man, Captain America Civil War never would have happened. That's the exact same argument you just made for Lost in Game of Thrones.
So you were able to argue against one thing.
I've just said 2 things. I'm continuing, but you're cutting me off.
The first season of Lost was the best season of any TV show.
That's false. That is false. I'm not even going to argue about Game of Thrones, though. True Detective Season 1 is the single most well-crafted show ever put together. You can any
And
season of
hold on,
Fargo is
let's
better
go
than
back
Lost.
to your Captain America Civil War Iron Man argument. The only reason you don't have Captain America Civil War without Iron Man is because you literally needed Iron Man in Captain America Civil War.
So?
You didn't need Jack Shepard to appear in an episode
doesn't
of Game
matter.
How does that
You
not
wouldn't
matter?
have one without the other.
You literally,
Okay,
because the
you
character
wouldn't have.
all right.
You
all right,
wouldn't
we
have
need
the
to move on.
Avengers without
We need to
X-Men in
move on.
2000.
That's not
X-Men
necessarily-
paved the way for modern superhero
And
films
X-Men was a
in
great
2000.
movie. And X-Men was a
But
great
have there been
movie.
better ones?
We need to move
Absolutely.
on. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Charlie and I are going to fight after the show. And make sure you're hitting like on our Comic Book Now Facebook page so you don't miss any of that fun any Thursday evening, afternoon, maybe morning, depending where you are in the world. But speaking of Lost, J.J. Abrams, the man responsible for launching the best series of all time, is in the news in a big way, having directed Star Wars The Force Awakens and stepping aside for The Last Jedi Episode 8, allowing Rian Johnson to take the reins there. Abrams will be replacing Colin Trevorrow as director on Episode 9. Not only that, the movie has been pushed back from May of 2019, where it would have opened 3 weeks after Avengers 4, to December 20th, 2019. This was expected. I was kind of excited to have the biggest movies of all time open in the same month. The responses to this have been mostly positive, with Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy saying, with The Force Awakens, JJ delivered everything we could have possibly hoped for, and I am so excited that he is coming back to close out this trilogy, end quote. For more details, head over to comicbook.com/Star Wars. A major DC Comics Easter egg has already been spotted in Justice League before the movie even hits theaters. Check this out. Twitter user Jack, with bats on either side, did his best detective work in Barry Allen's Flash Cave, taking this new image, which was released today, and spotting a major reference to one of Flash's best villains, Captain Cold. Closer look, shall we? Check this out. That computer screen says Cold Resistance. It's a clear reference to the character who actually may have been planned for the Flash movie, which was rumored to include all of the Rogues as villains, before it was apparently scrapped for a Flashpoint movie, as we found out at San Diego Comic-Con this year. And finally, it's almost Walking Dead season, Comic Book Nation. I'm excited. I hope you are. And the AMC series has been making headlines this week. The biggest story has been Scott Gimple revealing that Maggie's baby will not be born in the upcoming 8th season, indicating either the war spans the entire season before a time jump leading to the season 9, or Maggie dies in season 8. Comic fans know which of those is more likely. And moreover, though, Lenny James and Jeffrey Dean Morgan seem to be teasing the end of Morgan Jones, a season 1 character, coming soon during the preview special, which aired last week before the Fear the Walking Dead mid-season premiere. And Andrew Lincoln promises that Old Man Rick, that sequence that made everyone lose their mind in the season 8 trailer, he says that sequence is going to be shocking. It shocked him, and it's yet another detail comic book fans have a really good idea of what to expect from it. For more details on all of those stories, including some spoilery bits and exclusive clips and interviews for this Sunday's episode of Fear the Walking Dead, head over to comicbook.com/The Walking Dead. And speaking of The Walking Dead, Charlie, do you know what today is?
It's Thursday. I know that.
September 14th, if my calculations are correct. You know who was born on this day?
Michael Crabtree.
Andrew Lincoln,
Him
the
too.
fearless leader of The Walking Dead. You know him as Rick Grimes. And to honor Andy Lincoln's birthday, how about we take a look at his 10 best performances on The Walking Dead? Andrew Lincoln deserves an Emmy. He is a fantastic. The Snot Bubble in the season 7 premiere. We're not going to forget about that ever. Happy birthday, Andrew Lincoln. Thank you for 99 episodes of The Walking Dead. October 22nd is episode 100. We have really big plans for our After the Dead show here at ComicBook.com. I hope you'll join us there. And make sure you like our Comic Book Now Facebook page, which you are watching us on right now. So if you leave the show at the end of the show, hit the like button so next week you get the notification and you catch our interviews like Kevin Conroy, Sam Jones, all that stuff. But now it's time for my favorite part of the show. It's the questions. Send your questions because we are live. We are about to talk to you guys. Let us know whatever you want to talk about. We will talk about it. We know everything about everything, so let's just dive in.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah. First of all, comment section, thank you for coming to my aid. In the Game of Thrones Lost argument, there was one positive comment about Lost, and it wasn't even that it was the better show. It was just that, quote, Lost characters are like members of your family. And do you want to know who said it? Can you guess, Brandon Davis? It was your mom, Michelle.
A smart person.
I love Michelle, but it was your mom that came to your defense. Nobody else. Everyone else had my back, and I appreciate it. Thank you guys very much. On to the questions. Reese Williams over in Wales wants to know, how long will the Justice League runtime be? There's been a lot of discussion about it's going to be like 3 hours long, or it's, Joss Whedon's rewriting of stuff. Like, how long is the movie's going to be?
Somewhere between an hour and a half and 3 hours. I mean, realistically.
That's a pretty good guess.
All right, here. You know what? I'm going to write here. You write a number. I'm going to write a number down.
I don't have a pen, but I'll make one up.
This is my guess, and then we'll come back to this when the official runtime comes out.
All right.
And then we'll hold them up at the same time. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this at home. Make it nice and dark and big. Hurry up. Let's go. I have my prediction. Charlie, that's not big enough.
Yeah, it's all right. I don't have any.
I say 142 minutes. You can't see it.
151.
Okay. I say
151.
We're close. I don't know. We guessed. Charlie says 2.5 hours. I say just under that. Is it going to have a post-credit scene? Maybe.
I mean, there's a lot we can say about this movie. There's going to be a lot. It's going to be probably a longer movie than Wonder Woman. Probably,
who knows?
Probably shorter than BVS, though. All right. Then, on to the next question from my favorite name in the comments, Wim Sad Mojo. I love saying his name. Wim wants to know which will be the best new Marvel or X-Men TV series. You got Cloak and Dagger, The Runaways, The Gifted, all coming out this fall. Wim notes, I think Inhumans is probably out of the choices. Wim, you're right. I still have yet to get through the Inhumans first episode. It's so bad. But of those three, I've seen some Runaways and I've seen The Gifted. The Gifted's pretty good. If you guys like X-Men, you should check out The Gifted. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I think Inhumans is going to be the best. I really want Inhumans to turn around after the first episode. Look, I've seen bits of it. I haven't watched the entire thing. I'll admit, it's not. I was pulling for it. We were rooting for you. It's not that good. I think Gifted. I haven't watched Gifted. I've talked to you. Yeah. I've talked to many people who have watched the first couple of episodes of Gifted, and I've heard it's fantastic. I need to watch it myself. So, I mean, I think it goes out saying, Cloak and Dagger looks interesting. But I think
Freeform's where it loses me with.
But also, I do want to say, outside of Marvel, I think Black Lightning's going to be really good.
Yeah, DC doesn't have anything in 2017 unless somehow Black Lightning comes out, but it's probably going to be until 2018, the beginning months there. But between Black Lightning and this Titan series, like this cast is shaping up to be pretty cool. I'm actually really excited. I like Brenton Thwaites a lot from Pirates of the Caribbean. He's playing Dick Grayson. I think that the Titans has potential to be great. It's just on that paid streaming service.
The streaming service idea kind of turns me off to it. I always kind of worry. But Netflix has produced really great stuff, so maybe they won't spare any expense. What else is going on in the comments section?
I like your Jurassic Park references there. Spared no expense. I appreciate that. All right, and the last question of the day will be from Zach Schmidt. And he wants to know, what kind of role does Heimdall have in the movie? Now, we could just say any movie here, but we know he's talking about Thor Ragnarok. What role does Heimdall play? You know a little bit more about this movie than I do.
I think so the spoilers for Thor Ragnarok follow. I'm going to do this quickly. The Bifrost gets destroyed in Thor Ragnarok. I'll let you fill in the blanks on how. Hela's there. And I believe that everyone's going to be scattered to an extent. So I think Heimdall is going to... I think Heimdall might die. I really do have a feeling that Heimdall is going to go out in Thor Ragnarok. Because there has to be an emotional impact in this movie. I don't think we lose Loki or Thor. I think the body count...
We don't.
Well, I think the body count in Avengers Infinity War is going to be really high. So you have to save guys like that. But you also need some gravitas in this movie. You need somebody to go. If you want to show the impact of the goddess of death, she has to take somebody with her, right? I think if anybody, it's going to be Heimdall. Maybe Odin goes, but I think Heimdall's got a part in the Bifrost and reuniting everybody.
About losing somebody, there's been all those theories that Heimdall has the Soul Stone, and if Thanos is collecting that, maybe that'll be the opportunity to kill Heimdall if either Hela or somebody or even Thanos chooses to try and remove that stone from him.
And we do have plenty of reason to believe Thanos might be in the movie. As I said in our show last week, when I was on set, I got to see a list of props, Infinity Gauntlet listed there. Guess who literally has the Infinity Gauntlet right now? Thanos.
Thanos? Yeah.
So, all right, guys, that is, I think that's a great place to end the show. 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. The numbers from Lost, the greatest show of all time. Take that, Charlie Ridgely. Thank you so much for watching Comic Book Nation. Make sure you like our Facebook page, Comic Book Now. We'll see you next week.